For my DA, I'll be exploring the appeal and impact of social simulation games on players through the study of Animal Crossing. This SEM, I'll be critically playing 4 of the 6 main games in order to compare gameplay, production, and development. I'll be creating video multimedia blogs on WordPress, using Twitter and YouTube to promote the DA. I'll be playing 1 game each week, writing a critical analysis at the end of the week. I'll be using an emulator to play 3 of the games on my laptop and my Nintendo Switch for the last. I'd like to use a comparative approach to analyze the structure and fundamental values of each game and while it's appealing to audiences. Through observing different objectives and narratives of each game via a post-structuralist view, I'm aiming to investigate the political, economical, and cultural influence at the time of each game production and development, to examine the impact of wider cultural and social realities and how that's influenced game developments, narratives, and play. For example, does the increase in house mortgages price reflect the global political economy at the time of the game's production? I'd like to analyse the audiences of Animal Crossing through interacting and observing paratext related to the game, such as subreddits, mods, and online communities, to study the media effects theory. Through studying the cultural layout of the game, such as participatory media and YouTube streams, I'm aiming to understand the impact of social simulation games and their appeal. I'll be mapping basic features of each game text, such as the differences and similarities in each game affordance and limitations, and an analysis of aesthetic and technical elements to explore how audiences responded to each game and influence future Animal Crossing games, which will be done via an analysis of online paratext. Animal Crossing are known to change their game's objectives to provide new adventures with the same values and characters. This was a major selling point in the game, as each game differs from the next in terms of motives, objectives, and gameplay and narrative. By analysing the global dominant discourses at the time of game development and production, and how this has affected each individual game, it will help me understand the overall impact of this game on players, and why it's been so successful as a social simulation game. I'll be using a field journal to record which games I enjoyed the most, the objective of each game, limitations, the differences and similarities of each, and different character objectives and narration. As for a feedback loop, I'm aiming to use subreddits, mods, and forums to expand my analysis, which will be useful for the development of my project. I'm also aiming to gain early feedback of my investigation via engaging in these places, posting 4 weekly reviews and thoughts on each game in the subreddits.